Welcome to Season 4, Episode 7 of the Phil Bros Championship Podcast. I am Tim, and with me is Patrick, my co-host. How you doing, buddy?
The diamonds, every word of it was absolutely true.
Absolutely true. Oh man,
Congo, huh?
Congo is what a ride. Because it seems to be almost designed to be a universal ride at times.
Yeah, I was getting definite Jungle Cruise vibes in this. I'm like, that hippo looks like it was stolen from Disney.
Yeah, a little bit. I was like, when that part came out, I was like, it's when Jaws popped out of the water. You know,
But a lot less exciting.
yeah. So yeah. Not feeling this one. This is my overall feeling. Just put it out there.
It is my newest, spoiler alert, my newest lowest rating of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. You picked it.
I did.
You did this to us.
I did. But hey, the accents are
your
fun.
fault.
There's fun. It's my fault. Someone has to, you went banger. We got to get the other stuff out of the way.
You brought us so low.
It really did.
I'm gonna punish you. I'm gonna punish you for the next episode. So get ready.
Oh, that's unfortunate for me. Anyway, so I guess this is my pick, right? So
Congo. Yeah.
Well, it's unfortunate. I don't know why, to be honest. I watched it so much when it was on circulation. It's just because it was something. It was just on. Okay.
HBO for the young generation, for the Zoomers who don't know, back in the day when we had cable and we just had to watch what was on.
Right.
HBO would grab a movie and they would just play it to death over and over and over again. It would like 3-4 times a day.
Yep.
And so, you get home from school, like, well, Congo's on, I guess throw on Congo, it's fine. you know?
I mean, we were fortunate to, I guess, have, something like HBO, so we didn't have to rely on basic television all the time. At least to a certain point. I don't think we always had HBO. But definitely a good stretch.
I mean, we had HBO for as long as we were allowed to watch HBO.
Yeah.
That one was... I think Showtime and Cinemax came much later.
Yeah.
But HBO, we were a Charles Dolan, James Dolan household always.
Right.
HBO.
So the plot of Congo, at least according to IMDb, I'm just gonna go by that because, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm gonna go with.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you want me to try to do my own?
I'm sorry, but I always got yelled at when I did.
You did, but you do it anyway. So okay. So
no, I don't. I stopped.
Okay.
You yelled at me.
Okay, fine. So the
No, go ahead.
No. You challenged me.
We can start doing this now.
Challenge.
No, it allows me
accepted.
to start using. I'm not challenging you. It allows me to start using the IMDb's again. That would make me very happy.
Okay. When an expedition to the African Congo ends in disaster, a new team is assembled to find out what went wrong. Kind of. Not exactly.
That's fine.
I mean, it's very clear from very early on that is not the motives, but
Well, it's one of them.
one of them, yeah. One of them is, and for some odd reason, she is completely convinced that is the reason, which is like, what?
I don't know. Let's get into it.
Okay.
So our heroes are Dr. Karen Ross, communication technology expert played by Laura Linney.
Yeah.
And Dr. Peter Elliott, a primatologist played by Dylan Walsh. Ross is an ex-CIA agent and now works for a state-of-the-art communications company, Travicom.
Yes. In
That desperately needs
Texas?
to find...
Yeah.
Usually have a problem. They desperately need to find a perfect diamond to make a new state-of-the-art satellite that keeps them ahead of the competition.
Yeah.
She only cares about finding her ex-fiancé who disappeared on the previous expedition to find the diamond.
Right.
This all seemed very impressive in 1980 when the book was written. Less so in 95 and even less so now here in 2024. Don't know how much diamonds play into the part of satellites these days.
Well, it's weird because I feel like they were calling it like the blue diamonds or something. at first, but then that kind of went away later on.
Yeah, no, that was.
They didn't even look blue. Like just what?
Yeah, I know. In the book, it's like it's useless for people who for rings and whatnot, but they are great for communications. That's the book,
I guess. But this uses it as a power source.
Yeah, I know. This movie has laser guns.
Yeah. It does.
Here's my big issue with this movie. So
the big one.
We are desperate to find these diamonds to help satellites.
Right.
But they also are for laser gun technology. But we don't care about laser gun technology. We just want the satellites. I feel like
it's a weird
laser gun technology would be a bigger thing.
Right? Yeah, weapons grade. Like I thought that plot, maybe this was a plot point I forgot and it was coming at some point. Like, oh, really? He's just looking for a military contract and that's what it's really about, the guns. But nope, that's not a thing. It's just we also have these because what communications company doesn't have secret laser guns to protect their assets?
In the first 5 minutes of the movie, we have Bruce Campbell saying, Johnny on the spot, your garden grade variety laser gun here.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
And this is only a small sample that we found in the stream, so this is not even what we're fully capable of. Which is even more insane at the end, where she finally gets her revenge to destroy the satellite, and it's like, oh no, that diamond's too powerful. It's like it just blows up the thing in space. You're like, what? What is
like this? In my head canon, it was something she just jerry rigged on the spot, and she's like, oh, this can also become a laser gun. But like, no, this is well known that we can just make laser guns now.
Yeah,
that's a thing we can do.
We can just do that. Yep.
Oh, okay. Anyway. Dr. Elliot is a research scientist who trained a gorilla named Amy how to speak in sign language.
Right. Using someone else's new technology.
Virtual reality technology to give voice to sign language, which, is the most practical application of virtual reality technology ever used in a movie. On the other hand, why teach a gorilla how to talk? He doesn't have a good reason. He's just because I could.
Well, it sounded like he really wants to just know what animals think. So there's a few Dr. Dolittle jokes at his expense.
Right.
But then that kind of goes away really quickly to being like, oh no, Amy just wants to go home so she doesn't like her mind go to mush, basically being in captivity.
Yeah, she's been having nightmares and acting out. Elliot thinks for her sake she has to return to the jungle.
Right. And
she was born in.
He's justifying it, at least money-wise, to be then she can help train all the other gorillas to talk. And I guess that will eventually tell them what animals really think, I guess is his plan.
Talk to the animals, walk with the animals.
It's real what? I mean, all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sure.
So Elliot gets sponsored to release Amy back in the jungle by Herkimer Homolka. But as they're about to leave, Ross pops up begging for a ride, just assuming this is a timing thing and this is the quickest way
it was
for Ross to get there.
They basically say you're going to hijack basically the next expedition out.
Right. Elliot refuses. Ross doesn't want her on the plane at any price because he thinks she'll upset Amy. I don't have a price. I'm not a pound of sugar. I'm a primatologist. Sigh.
Ugly woman.
Just rude. Rude, Amy the girl.
Very rude. And not true.
Luckily enough, Laura Linney, very pretty woman. Luckily enough, Homolka's credit card gets declined and Ross swoops in to pay for the gas, and now they're one big happy group.
Yeah.
The Ross and Elliot dynamic is weird.
The
movie seems to wish it could be more flirtatious, but
they don't
Ross's
really give him much of an opportunity to have any of that.
But Ross's motivation is worry for her ex-fiancé, so it realizes it can't do much with that.
Right.
And Elliot is mostly just antagonistic towards her at first.
Well, even after all this setup, all of this kind of goes by the wayside. Everybody's just along for the ride, basically. Yeah. Any kind of character-wise, anything after this point, you get a little bit of Elliot towards the end, where it comes full circle back to her kind of revenge stuff. But otherwise, because Peter here is just along for the ride. He just kind of, I think he puts his foot down once, like, I'm not qualified for this, and then they're like, what else are your options? And then he just kind of goes with it for the rest of the movie.
This movie just like gives up on character entirely. And just becomes plot point to plot point. Like we're just like moving along.
At one point, they're like,
exact same thing.
They're going into something scary, and he just goes along with it. And his partner's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I don't know," basically, and he just goes with it. It's like, okay, like there's no motivation here at all for him to make this turn. Or even later on where he's like, I don't like guns, to like, yeah, give me that gun and I'm going to start shooting at monkeys too. So it's just like, all right. Like,
it's really weird that like he gets a Luger too.
Yeah.
Why is it a Luger? Why has she got like a World War II like Nazi gun?
I don't know.
That's what she has on her? Okay, whatever.
It's so weird.
But like, he's like pissing on her technologies degree. It's like calls her like a geek with a calculator. He's like, all right. And she's rightfully annoyed with him and his attitude for a while in this movie.
Yeah.
I love, like, why are they putting on parachutes? Figure it out! Like
that is a nice delivery,
like, yeah. No, Laura Lynn, no one is bad in this movie. It's just like the characters are so weak.
It's very weak.
They are paper thin.
It's more interested in getting from point A to point B and kind of like adventure of sorts.
I mean, like I think these two like eventually just stop talking to each other. Each of their scenes are just with like Ernie Hudson.
Yeah,
it's like they don't talk to each other; they're just talking to Ernie Hudson.
And if they do, it's really quick.
Yeah,
and I think if anything, towards the latter half of the movie, it's more like she gets less annoyed by his pompousness and such, and more just she kind of like smirks and can be amused by it later on. But it's nothing more than that.
Yeah, nicest thing I can say about Elliot's character is at one point he wears a Yankees hat.
Yeah, agreed. I pointed that out too, yeah.
And he gets the rest of the expedition to sing the Mamas and the Pampas to calm Amy down. I thought that was sweet.
Well, he didn't like get them to do it. It's just he was like one of those like, they all know it.
Well, yeah, everyone knows California.
Right.
Nice. So yeah, that's I got nothing else to say about Elliot at all.
It's not really here, man.
And then at the end of the movie, Ross calls Travis her boss. Travis is overjoyed to find out that she's actually alive. And she breaks it to him that Charles, his son, is dead. But Travis doesn't give a fuck. Just shouts, "Did you forget the diamond?"
Yeah.
And Ross is pissed, reminding him that she told him there would be consequences if she found out that she was sent to the Congo for the diamond and not for Charlie. And Ross blows up the satellite with her laser gun. In retaliation, throws away the diamond while they escape in the hot air balloon. And it's just like,
see, to me,
crazy
I
character
think
choices over and over again. Like, what?
This is my headcanon.
Yeah.
Because she has the little satellite relay to communicate that she gets from the second, the down plane from the second expedition, right? And I think she loaded the ultra powerful diamonds there into that, which caused too big of a feedback, which made the satellite somehow explode. That's what I'm going with.
Pretty sure we saw a laser shot.
Patch is what I'm going with.
She
so
blew it
dumb.
up with a laser gun.
It's really bad.
For some reason that she was able to hook up the targeting system with the satellite thing that she was using with the laser gun.
They do have that. I mean, they had these weird mechanized guns to shoot at perimeters at one point in this movie, so
just, in the book, you know what happens?
No, you were the Crichton fan, not me. So
I was the Crichton fan. Yeah, you know what happens? Nobody throws the diamonds away. They just sell the diamonds to somebody else. It's like, that
makes sense.
It's like, yeah, that's what a human being would do.
Yeah.
I give this a 1.5. I was like, these are not characters, but no one's like annoying. It's just so nothing. So I can't.
You know what?
As long as they're not annoying.
I had it at a 2, and I'm changing it.
I brought you down.
You're bringing me down.
I got your permission to come down.
It was more like, yeah, he wasn't bad. It's just nothing. And Laura Linney's, she's still enjoyable. Like, she's still good at what she does. So that's kind of why I went for the point for her.
I know these two are good actors.
Yeah.
It's just like there's nothing there for them to play.
She got a little bit more to do, but I get what you're saying. You convinced me. I'm going down.
Okay. Well, it gets worse from here.
Yeah.
Villain. We have a bit of an argument.
I don't know if it's an argument. I didn't really put up a fight.
Oh, okay. So you came to my side on this?
I don't know. I mean,
in my opinion, the only villainous creature being in this movie are the gray gorillas. They are chimpanzee, gorilla, human hybrids, specifically bred to be guard dogs for the diamond mines.
Right, and they
look like crap.
They turned over on their captors or whatever.
Right, but they look terrible.
Yeah, they don't look great. I mean, they did a better job with Amy and her getup. Even
Amy looks great.
Yeah, they did not do a good job with the rest of them.
According to Stan Winston, because they were the guys who did all this stuff, they're like, the lighting sucked. They put them in this stupid tunnel that had to be brightly lit, and these guys just looked terrible as a result. I'm like,
yeah,
all right.
It didn't make sense to me too that they were gray. Like, okay, I get you can kind of get me on. They trained them to be vicious, and so after generations of just being in this one area, protecting and I guess procreating and all that kind of stuff, they continue to be this way in this area, in this kind of remote area. But like, how did they get them to be gray?
I'll be honest, I didn't think about it.
Is it because of the?
It's a good question.
Is it the ashiness of being by a volcano? I don't know.
That's as good an explanation as any I can come up with.
It didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Any at all.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I mean, I don't care if they're gray. They're gray, so we can differentiate them between the good gorillas and bad gorillas.
Right,
but,
for sure.
Honestly, it's not that interesting.
Not that it was that hard. It's good. They only go.
Their eyes glow a little bit in the dark, which is kind of cool, but they're not like an exciting villain.
Only like kind of once in the woods, that one jungle scene, they kind of did that. They didn't do that in the other times.
Otherwise, they're brightly lit.
Yeah.
And they only appear like within like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of the movie?
And every time they kind of like try to show them being scary, it was always done in this like slow-mo blur effect thing that they had going on with it. And
I'll get into that in action and how terrible that is.
It's rough. I had R.B. Travis here as a villain because he's clearly not in it. Like, I think it's very obvious from the very beginning that he's in it for the diamond. He could care less about his son. Like, I think it was like, it's actually one of the annoying things about her character. Like, are you seriously buying into this? Like,
well, here's my thing. I mean, is he an asshole? Sure, but does he do anything actually villainous?
Sending people to die for money?
He didn't send them to die. He went to go find the diamond, and then he went to go send more people for the diamond.
Even though clearly multiple people have died at this point. They saw bodies.
Well, they were always well supplied. I don't know.
It's not just to get money. It's a greed thing. He's clearly. I think he's a bad person. There's nothing good about this person. He's a bad guy.
He had responsibilities, Tim. He had 40,000 employees.
He needs to make more money.
He needs to stay at the top of the game. Greed.
It's a villain. It's bad. I get you on Homaka. I removed him from this category.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. That means more to me.
Yeah, I removed him, but I put RB Travis and the gorillas in this category.
Fine. I mean, you want to give a little extra shout out to Jonah and Baker. I'm not gonna complain. I love that dude.
Yeah.
So, action.
Wait, we didn't give a score.
Oh, 1.
Yeah.
Action.
Not a whole lot here either.
I had to stretch it out a bit. So the first thing I wrote down, and I'm being kind here, the expedition is flying into Zaire airspace, unauthorized, and their plane is getting rockets fired at it. So, and the last one was a heat-seeking kind. So Ross grabs a flare gun and kicks out the door and starts firing flares at the rockets. Explosions, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, you do get some other explosions when they land in the airport too. So you get some okay explosions there too.
Just the car bomb, I guess.
Yeah.
That's really stretching it.
Hey, I'm
at least
going
people
with
were doing
explosions
stuff.
here. Come on.
We do like explosions here.
Yeah.
That's true. It's a good point. There was a car bomb earlier.
At the airport.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was the president's car. I don't think anybody got hurt.
Yeah. But at first I was like, I missed the line at first about them being heat-seeking. And then I'm like, wait a minute. She shot the flare perfectly to blow up the rocket. And then
Wouldn't that be trick?
And then I heard the line afterwards about the heat-seeking again. I was like, okay, thank God. I must have missed the line.
Yeah. No, they said that the last one was heat-seeking, so she grabs the flare.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they protected themselves there. Then hippo attack.
Yeah, I mean, you do get some fun parachutes. But yeah, sure. It goes to
parachutes.
It goes to hippo.
You want to talk about the parachutes? They were in parachutes.
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson held a gorilla while he was in his parachute.
Yeah, it's not great. The hippos are really not good.
They're not.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. It's a big creature, but the hippos are having trouble biting down on these rubber boats. I'm like, hippo would not have trouble with rubber boats. Hippo would rip up that rubber boat.
I mean, they're supposed to be known to be one of the more surprisingly deadly
More people die from hippo attacks than lion attacks. Hippos are scary.
Yeah. You get it with the size of them and everything like that. But it just doesn't play well. It does look more like a ride than anything else.
Smart to do it at night.
I know, but still well too lit or something. I mean, Jaws does a hell of a better job than this, obviously.
Obviously. It's just, I don't know. It's tough.
It's rough.
And then I'm already back. I'm already in Zinj, the next bit of action.
Yep.
Okay. So Richard, Elliot's assistant, comes running into the tunnels covered in blood, screaming, "Help me," and is revealed to be being chased by a gray gorilla.
Right.
Who tosses a severed head at the group, and Richard collapses to his death. Then the gorilla attacks, and I don't know what the fuck happens. The movie suddenly goes into some kind of blurry slow motion.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's real bad.
It is real.
It's awful.
Man. I'm like, is this style, or is this just trying to cover up bad?
It's trying to cover up bad. It's the only thing that makes sense to me.
It's not good.
It's not good at all. It's rough.
It is jarring too, because it comes out of nowhere.
It does, and it does have this moment of Jurassic World with the assistant and the pterodactyl.
All right,
you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, why is this guy getting? Like, what did he do? Like, why is he getting brutalized and killed? Like he is bloodied.
Well, no, he's bloodied, but we don't see him like the assistant in Jurassic World. It's like there's a prolonged moment where we're watching her get pecked to death and ripped apart.
Yeah.
And, this one is he's basically already on the verge of death, screaming, "Help me!" and that's it. And so it doesn't quite rate to that. This is unnecessary and mean.
I don't know. He gets two things of dialogue in the whole movie, and then this is the way he goes. He's like, man, it's rough. It's just,
I don't know. He's sort of this is stupid. I'm just gonna stay here a lot, and I'm like,
yeah,
it's a good plan, sir.
I know.
Solid.
There's nothing wrong or evil or anything
Sorry,
about
it didn't work
him. It's
out.
just this is a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't learn anything about him, but that's par for the course for all the characters, basically.
That's fair.
So then afterwards, you get Ross setting up sensor-operated gun turrets around the camp, which I would imagine have a tough time differentiating intruders versus natural wildlife of the jungle.
Was there some other kind of laser setting too, or something?
Yeah. On top of that, she's got purple emergency lighting and a laser grid fence. Which, wow. Once again, really need these diamonds for satellites? These laser technology seems pretty sweet.
But all it is loud noises. There's no action to this.
That's correct.
There's nothing to see here.
We're just shooting into brush.
Yeah. And quick shots.
Some red eyes.
Which is the coolest part of the whole thing, I guess.
And the gorillas all take their dead away, so we don't get to see any gorilla bodies. What the hell is this?
Yeah. It's just constant of.
We see we see them test the fencing like raptors, but right. We don't see any kind of.
What a better movie.
We know they don't like touching the fence. Well, yeah. You know what? Congo the book is good.
Is it?
It's a good book. It's a fun little adventure book that did not translate into a movie.
Yeah, clearly.
Because they kind of ditched all the characterization. But also, I read that book when I was 13, so I could be wrong. I don't know. My tastes have changed.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh my God.
When was the last time you read a Crichton book?
Well, he's dead now, so
still.
It's been a minute.
What does that matter? When was the last time you read one of his books? My point is, I'm pretty sure it's been
Airframe?
a long time.
Timeline? Whenever Timeline
Which
came
you
out,
were still in
school,
right?
Oh.
Yeah, that's kind of what a point I'm getting at. It's.
Well, he died young, so
right.
He didn't have a ton of books. When did Timeline come out now? Short novel. Come on, Wikipedia. 1999. 1999 was the last time I read a Michael Crichton book.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then they made a movie directed by Richard Donner but starring Paul Walker. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this because that was my anti-Paul Walker thing at the time.
Yeah. I'm still
Gerard Butler, though.
Anti, but anyway.
We'll talk about that another time.
Everybody keeps telling me to watch Kicking and Screaming. One day I'll get to it. Or not Kicking and Screaming. What's the name of that movie? Running Scared or something like that.
Running Scared. Yes, that's it. It's really good.
That's what I keep hearing.
It's really fucking good.
It seems to be one of the, because it's kind of almost the same with Robert Pattinson. There's all of a sudden there's this turn where they're actually, when they go off and do these other things, it's
when they're not doing soapy shit, it's actually when they're not doing movies that I'm not interested in watching, they're really good. DiCaprio was he was the first one for me with this.
Right.
It's once he started making movies I liked, all of a sudden he wasn't a bad actor anymore.
Well, there are certain people, right, that they're better with certain environments, certain stipulations.
I just, my interest in watching soapy teen romances there's a very narrow window. And so if you're making that kind of movie, I'm just I'm just not interested in watching that shit.
Fair enough.
Hulkama starts picking up diamonds, which pisses off the Grey Gorillas, who gang up on him and beat him to death. It's kind of like a bummer of a death because he's so uninteresting to look at.
To be honest, they do end up beating him to death because or whatever because he has the diamonds. But at the same time, they're you shouldn't touch those. But I don't see a change in the gorilla's feelings towards these people in between that. You know what I mean? There's not now he's picking up, now I'm even more angry. That they don't get that across ever.
It's a fair point because they're killing people before they even find the diamonds. So
yeah.
It doesn't really make much sense. But
and they're they do such a bad job with these gorillas that it's you can't tell things are escalating because he touched the diamonds. They look just as mad and angry as when they first popped out of their tunnels.
Same as it ever was.
Yeah, so it's just okay, sure.
So, in retaliation, the whole expedition, whatever's left of them, starts shooting the Grey Gorillas. I'm just going to call them the Greys from now on.
Sure.
Ross has a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. And, poor Kahega gets gang beaten to death by the gorillas, too.
Mr. Echo.
Brother. If I can get you to watch Oz and start calling him Adebisi, I'd really be in heaven.
Maybe one day.
He never will. So Kelly and Elliot, we'll go into Kelly later. That's my man Ernie Hudson. Are blowing away Greys to buy time for Ross to put the laser gun together that we saw in the beginning of the movie that the Greys were kind enough to store in the same cave that they're in.
Yeah.
And the Greys nab Elliot and are circling to kill him when Amy the Gorilla appears with a mighty roar. And then calls the Grey Gorillas with their ugly voice bad, ugly gorillas or whatever.
Yeah.
Which freaks the other gorillas out.
Yeah, they literally tried to give some ADR lines to be they're freaked out by this weirdness of Amy. That's why nothing is happening. Just in case you didn't understand, here's some ADR.
You don't want to try Ernie Hudson's British accent in this?
No. It's so it's distinct, that's for sure. It is it comes when it wants to.
Basically, if you are not trying an accent in this movie,
yeah, get
out of the way. You're not doing this movie right.
That's the one big problem with Laura Linney, right?
And Dylan Walsh, you're not doing an accent. No accent. Get out of here.
Should have gone full New York or something for him.
He should have gone full New York. She should have gone Southern. It would have been amazing.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, he's got this weird.
Well, we'll get into him.
Fair enough.
So yeah, then the Grey Girls. So the girls get freaked out. The Grey Girls, and Ross finishes her laser gun.
Yeah, and a hand gets chopped off.
Yeah, and what's his name? Sorry, I lost his name. Kelly Monroe is like, "What are you doing? What am I doing? I tell you what I'm doing. We're getting out of here. What about them? Put them on the endangered species list." Laser goes brrr.
It's sad because it's like, oh well, this is an action line. This should be only if this was an action movie. Like this is like an action kiss-off line.
What do you think of? I distinctly remember put him on the endangered species list too. What do you think of the laser gun?
I mean, like most of the weird CGI that's in this movie, it's rough. Like it's.
It looked like a less cool Proton pack.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Obviously, I think the effects
shot
were better in Ghostbusters. Like it's
they're more interesting to look at.
It's bad. Like I mean, especially and as we'll kind of go here, the lava starts to come in and it's rough. It's real bad.
Well, I enjoyed seeing the Greys get like severed in half and stuff. I'm like, oh, here we go.
I guess, but and then the lava comes in though, and then like you just see these girls just like going, whoa! Like they just like fall, like the way they just fall.
They're jumping in.
Yeah, they're just jumping, and some of them just do this like real bad like whoa, but then others are just jumping into it directly.
Some are pretending to fall. Some are like jumping like fuck this shit.
Yeah, like, it's so bad. Like it's just it's rough.
It's like all right, yeah. And you're existing, Grey Gorillas. I support you.
You were terrible.
The last little bit, the volcano goes boomless, Tim says.
Yeah.
Lava everywhere, and the Greys are getting fucked up or just saying fuck it and jumping.
Yeah.
And the Earth is shifting like it's the end of Star Trek 3.
I was thinking that same. Yes!
Brother. Ross creates a tree bridge with her laser gun to save Amy and Elliot, and that's the end of action that I can come up with for this movie.
What?
I gave it a 1.5 because of severed gorillas.
Oh no, I gave it 1. This movie is rough.
It's terrible, but like 1.5 for the severed gorillas. That's the best I can do.
Nice. Okay, this is really nice. Okay, all right, fair enough.
All right, let's get to the highlight of this movie.
Yes, it's sidekicks without doubt.
Supporting characters.
Yes.
First off, Amy the gorilla.
Sure.
Played by two diminutive women, Lola No and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that, and Misty Rosas. I truly believe they were a rude 70-year-old ape that loved martinis. I believed.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I was impressed with. This is where I was impressed with like effects kind of stuff is like they legitimately a lot of times show her like eating and drinking, and maybe it's just quick cuts or something. But the way it's like, wow, this looks like she really is eating and drinking, and like I'm impressed by some of the effects.
Amy want green drop drink.
Yeah, because usually the eyes are kind of the giveaway where it doesn't look great, or some of the movements. But otherwise, it's like, oh, this is looks pretty good.
I had a good time watching Amy drink martinis and smoke a cigar.
Or the cigar, yeah.
Something cool about watching a gorilla smoke a cigar. Just is. Sorry. And drinking a martini.
I mean, it's not as good as the dog in season 1, but, you know, it's pretty close.
Oh, man.
1 down, 2 to go.
That's it. God damn it. Thank you. You won. You win.
Yay.
All right, let's get to the good stuff. Tim Curry.
The diamonds.
Tim Curry as Herkimer Molka.
What? Is this a Romanian name? Please help me.
Okay. I will. Before I get into him, I will say Homolka was only a name given in the book. He's just Mr. Homolka.
Okay.
Herkimer. is the name. So the diamonds used in this movie are actual diamonds, but they're like not like valuable diamonds or whatever. They're like from some place in like upstate New York.
Interesting.
Some like weird ass diamond mine. But it's not like, you know, the diamonds that we value.
Right.
I don't know. So they're like cheap, shitty diamonds or whatever. But it's called the Herkimer Mine. That's where they got him. So they just decided to give him that name, the first name, which he didn't have in the book. They called him Herkimer Homolka. As like a tribute to the people who like donated these diamonds, one of which they never found again. I don't know how valuable it actually was, considering they say it's not like a
valuable mine,
you know, Hope diamond kind of thing, but whatever. So Herkimer Homolka, a con man who is obsessed with finding the lost city of Zinj. The diamond mine of King Solomon.
Diamonds.
I will pay for Amy to go home. Herkimer Homolka, formerly of Romania, free now of the chains of Ceausescu, traveling the world and doing good.
I love him, but like
I love Tim Curry so much.
Is any of this Romanian? Like I'm so like what is going on here? But
I don't know.
It's still so much fun.
It's the most fun in this movie is Tim Curry.
Yes.
Like when I think happiness, I think happy thoughts for this movie. I think of Tim Curry, I think of Ernie Hudson, and I think of Delroy Lindo.
Yes,
that's
correct.
So like
might be the correct order too.
If these guys weren't in this movie doing this work,
ooh,
what a disaster!
It would have been even more rough. Yeah, for sure.
You know, these guys are all just going for it with accents, and it's a blast.
Yeah.
Push me, please. Harder, please.
Harder.
Speaking from experience, a push is nice for a first-time skydiver.
Yeah, I wouldn't even dare. So yeah, you'd have to shove me pretty hard to get me out.
When I went skydiving, they're like, okay, we're gonna walk out onto this little step here, and you have to step off, and that's when we go. And I'm like, I have to. Okay.
Yeah.
Took me a minute.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Have your laughing, and I will have mine.
I'll have mine.
You may call me Mr. Homolka, buddy.
It's wow.
The same hieroglyphics over and over. What do they mean?
The legends are true.
Here we go. Yes, I knew it was true. The lost city of Zinj, the diamonds.
Diamonds.
Every word of it was absolutely true. That's all my Homolkas. That's all my Homolkas.
He's having so much fun. I'm having fun.
Blast.
It's fun. It's fun. It's as ridiculous as it is. It's fun.
And even when he's not saying anything, like that point where he's eating the sesame cake, you just see like the looks on his face.
Oh yeah, the little reactions of him, like what,
yeah.
like. So like I'm so sad,
just,
like oh
yeah, it's like I'm gonna take it out of my mouth and everything. It's the best part of the movie. It makes the movie not a slog.
Yeah,
and
I mean you got to give it somewhat credit. The movie at least never dwells; it's constantly moving. So
we are moving.
Yeah, it is. It is helpful to not make this the worst thing we've watched or anything by that. But it's not, by the way. Like I wouldn't say it's the worst thing, but yeah, so far this year.
It is this year, yes, but like, definitely not clearly the worst.
Kelly.
So Ernie Hudson is just delightful as Captain Monroe Kelly.
Yeah, and
his like vague British accent,
very vague. He's almost every once in a while doing a like an old timey like he should be in like a black and white movie at times. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the accent he throws on every once in a while.
It's funny. I can't remember. I read Ebert's review.
Yeah.
And he compared. I can't remember if he compared him to Clark Gable or God. Shoot, I'm sorry.
Like he should be a character on the African Queen or something.
Or Cary Grant. I can't.
You know.
Well, no, that's Humphrey Bogart.
No, I know, but you know what I mean. Like he would. I'm not saying he's Humphrey Bogart, but I'm just saying like he would be in a movie like that era.
Right. He compared him to either Clark Gable or Cary Grant. I can't remember which. But it's like, that seems like that vague, like, well, Clark Gable never really did an English accent, but still, it's like, it's just a gentlemanliness to him, always.
Which, he pulls that off, right? And
Very much so.
I think the charisma and charm of Ernie Hudson is just very helpful with his little suspect accent here. But it doesn't
bother me. I enjoy it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, I feel like I don't know, like it still works for what he's trying to do for this movie. And I all the little moments too, where like, where the other African tribes people or whatever start laughing at him is because I should be carrying luggage on my head, like stuff like that. Like, is done with such a nice touch to it. It's really nice at those moments.
Yeah, there's always a level of grace to everything he does in this. It's very cool. He says this is his first personal favorite role of his career. I don't know when he said that.
Wow.
But he clearly was having a lot of fun while making it, and I'm having fun as a result watching him.
Yeah.
The Great White Hunter tour guide, who happens to be black. A scientist. I run a few guns. You sons of bitches ruin the world.
Do you got the Elvis Presley quote too in there?
I don't. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't.
If you have it.
I don't have it off. I just remember it was something like they're hearing all these noises or whatever, and it's just like, yeah.
Oh,
like
right.
Every monkey within 20 miles thinks they're Elvis Presley or whatever. Like, yeah.
We're not going to do him justice.
We're not. Can try.
I've been trying to do Tim Curry for years, and this is the best I can do. I will never be able to do as cool as Ernie Hudson in this movie.
Because he is an underrated, awesome voice too in himself. Because there's this effortless cool that he has with the cadence and his voice. And I think that's what works within him doing this weird British thing that he's doing every once in a while. But you're right, it's this gentlemanly thing that he's doing with it that just works.
Honestly, while watching this movie, and we get Ernie Hudson and Delroy Lindo having a scene together, I'm like, can we figure out a way to get Tony Todd and Keith David in here too?
Just get them all together.
I want this. I want it so bad. We can still do this. It can still happen, Tim. Give it to me.
Just like a Captain Planet with the rings all coming together. What's going to happen?
Black actors with the coolest fucking voices on the planet. Yeah. We've lost James Earl Jones. That dream is dead.
True.
Don't waste any more time. Let's make this happen.
That would be sick. That would be awesome. Yeah.
I would be there opening night.
And it's crazy, too, like how good in shape and stuff, like he still is.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy.
So I love the part... Yeah, black don't crack. Ross starts sharing all her gear that she brought with the rest of the expedition. And she's like, I have air conditioning, too. Air conditioning?
Oh, yeah.
I suppose it is a bit much. Shit, I'll take one.
It would have been interesting just to see this movie from just his perspective where he's the main character.
Well,
right? Trying to figure out everybody's motives. Because I like that whole interaction too, where he's talking to Hamaka and he's like, I know what you're doing here. Like, yours is very clear. Like, I'm not so sure, like.
Right. The movie definitely takes on a new energy, and it's much more fun energy when Ernie Hudson is on the scene.
Yeah, I almost contemplated putting him in the hero category. Because he does get a lot of screen time once he comes in.
But it takes a little minute.
It does.
It takes a minute for him to. So I genuinely great gag with the reveal that the entire expedition ran away and hid while Elliot faced down a silverback gorilla.
Oh yeah, and he's like, I ran.
Where'd you go? I ran away. Sorry. That's all I had to say about him, but he's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love Ernie Hudson in this movie. Joey Pants. Joe Pantoliano.
2 weeks in a row.
Is back this season as Eddie Ventro. Mr. Travis asked me to meet you at your plane and set up your expedition. Her expedition. She's just along for the ride. Whatever. Be an asshole. Wow! A talking gorilla! I feel the money hairs from the back of my neck going woo woo woo. Love him. I love Joey Pants. What a fun... He's not even credited in this movie.
I know. Yeah, uncredited. That's crazy.
Delroy Lindo, also uncredited, who is my next guy, unless you have anything else you want to say about Joey Pants.
No, I mean, it's just fun. Anything comes out of his mouth is just a fun, good time. Like, he's just good, wisecracking kind of guy. That's it.
I'm sorry. Did you have anything else you want to say about Ernie Hudson too? I cut you.
No, I think we kind of got to everything. I did have a little Kahega in here, but I mean,
I have all
very little, but yeah, okay.
So Delroy Lindo.
Yeah. Stop eating my sesame cake!
The corrupt Ugandan soldier who shakes the group down for a bribe in exchange for safe passage to his country to the Zaire border. He is clearly having fun with the accents here like everyone else. Well, mostly everyone else is.
Yeah.
And gets to give everyone the lowdown pat on Ross's past in the CIA. Love him yelling for everyone to try his cake he provided, and then later yelling at Pamulka.
I don't think he wanted him to eat it. He's like the one guy, because he's like, he basically calls him a dirtbag. And like you should not be with this piece of trash. Like, I think that everything about the cake was like not meant for him. Stop eating my cake.
The best. I love like the don't want nobody peeking.
He's like stapling the bag shut.
Yeah, wants to take like $50,000 bribe, puts it into a brown paper bag, and staples it closed. He's having a blast in this one scene that he's in.
He's great, to be honest. It's kind of a shame. It's like took him so long to kind of get better roles, and still never quite getting probably roles he deserves. To be honest,
I still gotta get you to watch Clockers someday.
Fair enough.
One of the most best unheralded Spike Lee movies. So Wanted tells him that the only thing giving them safe passage to the border is Amy the gorilla, because everyone in his country is so afraid of being caught in an American movie being cruel to a gorilla. This is a crazy world we live in. That's great.
That's good stuff.
Then some fun cameos. Bruce Campbell as Charles Davis, the son of R.B. Travis, the owner of Travacom, and ex-fiance of Karen Ross.
He gets to one more time scream or whatever into a camera zooming in on his face. It's like his trademark.
He also gets to say Johnny on the spot basic laser, which makes me laugh. But yeah, that's... Also, I gotta ask you, how do you think a Hershey bar is doing in the African wilderness? I mean, that thing's gonna be mush, right?
I would assume.
I mean, it's a Hershey bar.
It was just like in his like pants or whatever, right? It was his pants were taken out of his bag. I don't know. He didn't have a bag because he had to go underwater. Like they got the.
No, he had the bag with him because, or no, wait, maybe you're right. He didn't bring the bag with him. I don't know.
Because he had to go underwater.
I don't know.
The other people later in the movie don't have to go underwater, so they just found a better route.
But that's with the laser guns. Maybe the gorilla just brought everything in there.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
But yeah.
Regardless.
No, yeah.
Well. That Hershey bar is like done.
Yeah.
Joe Don Baker is R.B. Travis, who we already talked about.
Yeah.
He only cares about the diamond.
Because I put him in villain, but yeah. But he's so animated. It's kind of fun not to have fun. I mean, it's hard not to have fun, should I say. Sorry.
I got you.
But
yeah. John Hawkes is in this movie, young John Hawkes, as Bob Driscoll. Amy the gorilla literally scares him to death.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adaway Ake... God damn it. Mr. Echo.
Mr. Echo. Or...
Akawal...
Patrick.
Ake Nuye...
Yo, Joe.
Fuck. A couple of years later, after this movie, him and Ernie Hudson, he played the Joker to Ernie Hudson's Batman on HBO's Oz as out of BC. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, you watch Oz and you'd be like, wow, this cast is crazy stacked.
I mean, I always kind of figured it and knew it was, to be honest. How many people came out of that movie, or that show, should I say. But yeah, I just haven't gotten around to it.
Okay. And then you got stupid one, but shout out to Stuart Pankin and Mary Ellen Trainor as the two people in the audience at Amy's demonstration. Tim and I last saw them both in our 92 horror season. Stuart Pankin was the boss in The Vagrant, and Mary Ellen Trainor was Bruce Willis's fan in Death Becomes Her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not pick up on that.
Stuart Pankin was like the sheriff in Arachnophobia, which was Frank Marshall's, like, I think, movie before this.
Okay.
Or it was 2 movies before this, so that was his big thing. I have no idea what his connection to Mary Ellen Trainor was, but, she was just in a lot of movies. Mary Ellen Trainor's cool. She was in Monster Squad. Another Monster Squad.
Monster Squad.
Monster Squad. That's all I have, but I gave this category a 4.5.
Wow.
Because they make this movie watchable. It is incredible. All these great supporting characters in this movie.
I did take points away from other categories.
Yep.
So I guess I can add them here.
It's up to you. I mean, you don't find them as.
I'm gonna go with a 3.
Ooh, that's all right.
I'm gonna have a 6.5.
I gave this movie an 8.5.
Man, went high.
Well, just because of the supporting characters. I love Tim Curry and Ernie Hudson that much, and Delroy Lindo.
It's just not good.
Yeah, no, 8.5 is not a great score. It's a failing score. It's a below average.
That is true. 8.5.
You ready to do America's favorite game?
Body Mass Alone!
Body Mass Alone.
I don't want to have conversations anymore about dudes' physiques.
Dennis,
and whether they can...
body mass alone.
That's what I was trying to avoid. A conversation about body mass.
Okay?
Tim, there are no muscles in this movie at all.
It's a 1.
There's no skin, even.
I mean, yeah, they're all... It's kind of crazy how clothed they are for the African jungle. But I guess you need to be somewhat covered so you don't get leeches on your penis. That he never seems covered, Tim, to get rid of either.
The closest thing we got to people like dealing with the humidity in Africa is the African tribe they run into, who have several layers of dead.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, there's nothing.
It's a 1.
It's a 1, which is a kind 1.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a kind 1. It's the kind lowest score we can give it.
I mean, could go 0, I guess.
This is the second time this season the video game Doom has made an appearance.
Oh, on the computer screen when we're in Amy's little thing. Okay, yeah.
I gotta ask a question, Tim. If these are King Solomon's mines, then why are their walls covered in Egyptian hieroglyphics?
Great point.
You don't have an answer for me?
Dun. No, to be honest too, when he was saying the hieroglyphics part, I was like, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
But I think I just kind of moved on from there and didn't give it another thought. But yeah, no, it didn't make any sense.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Should be Hebrew if it was King Solomon's mines.
It's also weird too, like why is it in the Congo?
Yep.
Like
be pretty far from Israel.
And I mean, if we're even talking about like the peak of gold, wasn't that West Africa?
No, it was for the diamonds, not gold.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. But like, why would diamonds weren't quite the thing yet?
I don't. I have no idea, but
that's
people loving diamonds.
But I feel like diamonds is like a later historical thing. People care more about gold and silver historically, right? It's not till
I have no idea. I always thought diamonds were always a thing. Sparkle, sparkle.
I get. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious to look into that.
Budget of $50 million, which is a little over $103 million today. Worldwide gross of a little over $152 million, which would be a $314 million box office return today. It was a huge hit. The critics did not love this movie, but boy, did it make bank.
Is it just because I threw Michael Crichton's name on it and it was enough?
I have a feeling that's exactly right. People were just still high off of Jurassic Park. Like, oh, more Crichton.
Bring it. Inject it in my veins. Like, let's go.
Right, and that shit just like straight up died after Sphere and
oh yeah, those movies were bummers.
This movie debuted at number 1 in its debut weekend with nothing else. debuting the same weekend. Nobody wanted any part of Congo Smoke.
Really? Just because of the whole Michael Crichton vibe and everything?
People were scared. I don't know what to tell you, Tim.
Man, all right. So, that must have was a successful movie. They did well with it.
Very successful movie, yeah.
And
it's really funny considering, wrong. Basic, well, not wrong, but you just go to see it. You just, when the critics liked it, and they didn't, Frank Marshall, I don't think we ever really directed a movie again.
Wow.
That was kind of it for him. He was still, very successful producer.
Yeah.
But directing, he didn't. I don't know. I'm trying to. Let's see. Congo and he did 8 Below after this, and then that was it.
8 Below. Is it the Wolf Disney thing?
It's the Paul Walker, yeah, and his yeah. But that's it.
Okay.
He's a very successful producer. He doesn't need to direct movies.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So next week.
Yeah. What do you got for me? Hopefully turning up a little bit, or you're just going for blood? Oh no. Don't be mean.
It's time to get our Chuck Norris on, Tim.
Oh.
Top dog, baby. Let's go.
Well, I'm glad it's not you that backed me in the corner to pick it. I am not looking forward to this at all.
I know.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? I was pleasantly surprised in season 1 by a Chuck Norris movie. Also horribly disappointed by a Chuck Norris movie in that same season. So we'll see.
His partner's a dog.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think it hits the heights of K9 with Jim Belushi, but or Turner and Hooch.
Yeah,
but
those are good movies. Although I haven't seen K9 in a really long time.
It's a dog eats chili. What's your problem, Tim? It's good.
Okay.
That's what Dad kept on telling us. Our father, who loved chili, is like, "Oh, the dog loves chili. I love this movie." Okay. Yeah. So just trying to bang out the ones that are already streaming. And that felt right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was tempting with the Fair Game one, which most likely will be my pick next. But we'll I don't know. I might have to turn it back up because this is 2 weeks in a row of not great. So we'll see.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I know
you
that.
Might love Chuck Norris.
I know that.
You son of a bitch.
All right, man.
All right. Oh, right. Apologies, I forgot that I'm doing outros now. Okay.
You don't have to permanently do them. You volunteered.
I did. That is it for us. Please show us your support for the podcast by leaving a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or wherever you happen to listen to the show. Also, sharing is caring. Be sure to follow us on social media to get the latest show updates. You can contact us by emailing at filmbrochamp@gmail.com or find us by searching for the hashtag FilmBroChamp. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Film Bro Championship Podcast. Peace out, everyone.
The diamonds.